There's been many stellar brother combinations in hockey. The Hulls, the Sutters, the Gretzkys, all different type of players. But these brothers, not say time has forgotten them, but they basically changed hockey as we know it in the early 1910s and the 1920s. Of course, we'll have to be talking about the McNamara brothers, George, Harold, and Howard. Now, George is the most acclaimed of the three. Member of the Hockey Hall of Fame, inducted in 1958. Played for a number of years. Born on my birthday, not August 26, 1886, in Penetanguishene, Ontario. Now, he was a big kid at a young age. Eventually turned out at 6'1", 220, which was huge for the 1910s. Now, everything, the fortune changed for the families when the McNamara clan moved to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and it was in the Sault that, of course, George first learned the game of hockey. He made his professional debut playing with Sault Ste. Marie Marlboros of the International Hockey League during the 07 season. Now, George and his brother Howard, also briefly a member of the Sault Marlboros, were known as the Dynamite Twins because of their bone-crunching body checks. Now, the International Hockey League folded in 1907 when a purely amateur game in Canada finally gave way to professional leagues, and the top Canadian players were lured back to Canada to play. McNamara, who was a big, rugged defenseman, was in high demand among Canadian professional clubs, playing with 4 teams in 4 leagues from 08 to 1913. Now, McNamara was considered one of the best open ice checkers of his day. He would help the Toronto Blue Shirts win the 1914 Stanley Cup. His pro career was unfortunately interrupted when he joined the Canadian Army in World War I. He was a member of the 228 Battalion team that played the NHA before being ordered overseas on February 10, 1917. Now, after returning from the service, he became the coach of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds and led the team to the Allen Cup title in 1924. Now, George and Howard eventually founded the McNamara Construction Company and developed it into a prosperous firm. He eventually died in Florida, Miami, of course, on March 10, 1952, at the cool age, if you're in Florida, of age 66. Now, he was inducted posthumously in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1958. Again, the teams he skated with included the Canadian Sioux of the IPHL, the Montreal Shamrocks of the ECAHA, the Shamrocks of the ECHA, the Waterloo Colts of the OPHL, the Halifax Crescents of the MPHL, or Maritime Professional Hockey League, the Toronto Tecumsehs of the NHA in exhibition and league play, the Toronto Ontarios in 1914, Toronto Blue Shirts of the NHA, Toronto Shamrocks of the NHA, back to the Toronto Blue Shirts of the NHA, and again, Toronto 228 Battalion, and the 1914 title was his. Now, the second brother we're going to talk about is Howard McNamara. Now, like his brother, a big dude, 6 feet, 240, born in Randolph, Ontario, November 22nd, 1891. He played pro hockey for about a dozen years, including 2 campaigns with the Habs, and with Montreal he won the 1916 Stanley Cup title. Now, again, he moved to Sault with his family when he was 12. Along with George, he joined the Halifax Crescents in the MPHA in 1912, thus again forming the Dynamite Twins. Now, Howard went on to become captain of the Montreal Canadiens of the NHA at the time when they won their first Stanley Cup in 1916. He also played in an exhibition series in 1913 with the Toronto Tecumsehs. Now, because Howard and his brother George served in World War I, he rose into the ranks quickly from lieutenant to major. After returning from Europe, again, George and Howard founded a construction company that bears his name, and they were prosperous for a number of years. Now, unfortunately, Howard died of a heart seizure on his yacht Brigadier during a fishing trip near Deseronto, Ontario, September 24th, 1940. So the squads he played for, of course, Montreal Shamrocks of ECHA, the Canadian Sioux Pros, the Berlin Dutchmen of the OPHL, the Cobalt Silver Kings of the NHA, Waterloo Colts of the OPHL, Halifax Crescents, Toronto Tecumsehs, Toronto Ontarios, Toronto Shamrocks, Montreal Canadiens twice, and then the Toronto 228 Battalion. Now, Harold McNamara, born August 3rd, 1888, was also a defenseman. He lived in Randolph, Ontario, unfortunately passing away in Peru, Lima, at the young age of 48, August 27th, 37. Now, he started as a pro with the Canadian Sioux Algonquins of the IHL in 1906. He later played on the Edmonton HC of the Alberta Amateur Hockey Association, the Toronto Pro HC, and Waterloo Colts of the Ontario Professional Hockey League, and the Cobalt Silver Kings, Red Fruit Creamery Kings, Toronto Ontario's and Montreal Canadiens of the NHA before retiring in 1917. Now, of course, McNamara, as a lot of people already know, he was one of the Edmonton Hockey Club's ringers who played in an unsuccessful Stanley Cup challenge against the Montreal Wanderers in December 08. Now, sturdy 6'1", 190, eventually was later hired to manage the Halifax Crescents for the 14 season. Now, he died in Lima, of course, after a brief illness. He had been engaged in construction work in the Peruvian capital city for 2 years prior to falling ill. So that's the story of the McNamara brothers. If you like what we're doing here with our vintage podcast, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, keep your stick in the ice. Bye.